Program Director, fellow mourners, my deepest condolences to the Manzana family for the loss you have suffered. Since we received the shattering news, we have been left in shock and grief. We dip our revolutionary banner in honor of our national and liberation hero. Had it not been for the current pandemic, I would have been here in person to honor this great cadre of our movement. Some of us had the privilege and honor to study with her at medical school and serve with her in our struggle for liberation. Dr. Manzana belonged to a rare breed of activists. We've been active in almost all the facets of our democratic revolution. First as a student activist, then as a doctor, a member of the National Medical Democratic Association of South Africa, NAMDA, and an underground operative. Dr. Dlamini Zuma had this to say about her unshaken commitment to the revolution, and I quote, "She played a crucial role in mobilizing support for NAMDA, especially at Rest and Medical School, where the initiative started. She understood the link between the professional mobilization and the broader political struggle. May her soul rest in peace." Close quote. Indeed, she was driven and strove to achieve what Dr. Ernesto Che Guevara once said. I quote, "We must strive every day so that love of living humanity will be transformed into actual deeds, into acts that serve as examples, as a moving force." Close quote. Indeed, with every breath and drop of blood in her body, she acted and served in an exemplary manner, whether as part of the underground movement or as a servant of the people in post-apartheid South Africa. All who served with her will attest to her upright and forthright manner and discipline. As part of the underground machinery, she was an all-round operator who initially served under the equally affectionate and committed Comrade Dlamini Zuma. Sadly, Comrade Mdu passed away during the 30th January 1981 Amatola raid in Mozambique, whose 41st commemoration we shall mark this year as a reminder that our freedom was not free. Our freedom took big and little sacrifices from the likes of Dr. Manzana and millions of ordinary South Africans, and progressive forces of the world. As part of the effective Natal machinery, we who were in the then Swaziland, now Eswatini, found a dependable operative in Dr. Manzana. We could rely on her to disperse material and information back and forth at a very high personal risk. She would even give her car to comrades to use whilst in Swaziland, if requested. Part of her assets was the wide network of doctors and medical professionals whom she greatly influenced and recruited into our revolutionary movement. She also leaned on other professionals, including the legal profession, and people like Victoria and Griffiths Mqenge, who were introduced to her by Comrade Dlamini Zuma, who had served his articles under them in Natal. Indeed, our liberation canvas would not be complete without the portraits of these two who paid the highest price. Dr. Manzana loved and enjoyed life. She was the one who would introduce us to the latest dance moves, a trait she held until her departure. Even as she confronted ill health, waiting for a kidney for over 8 years since 2008, she maintained her optimism, humor, and infectious laughter. She could have found ways to jump the queue, but as a disciplined cadre, she stood in line. She could also have opted out of the public health care system, which she served since 1980. She could have pursued a life of wealth, but she understood, as did Dr. Ernesto Che Guevara and other revolutionaries, that all the gold in the world is not far more important than the pride of serving one's neighbor. For these revolutionary doctors, the gratitude of the people is the greatest treasure of all. Revolutionaries like Dr. Manzana understood what Che said when he said, I quote, "Isolated individual endeavor, for all its purity of ideals, is of no use, and the desire to sacrifice an entire lifetime to the noblest of ideas serves no purpose if one works alone, solitary, in some corner. To create a revolution, one must have the mobilization of the whole people," close quote. It is therefore upon all of us and future generations to pick this fallen spear. We ought to ensure that no child goes to bed hungry. No victim of gender-based violence and femicide should have the fear to report or retaliate. No perpetrator must be hidden from the wrath of the law and society. No person should be illiterate and without adequate means of livelihood to feed herself and her family. Most of all, we dare not rest until the means of production, especially the land, belong to the people, until we have had the skills revolution, until we have dealt with the challenges of poverty, unemployment, and inequality, so that we may give the world our greatest gift, a more humane face. Our greatest monument to her is to emulate her as a courageous, committed, disciplined, and selfless cadre of our movement. Our deepest condolences to the family, friends, colleagues, and comrades of Dr. Manzana. She is now joining the galaxy of our heroes and heroines, like Dr. Mini, Professor Pepeta, Dr. Dubazana, and many others. May her soul rest in eternal peace. Siyabonga. Thank you.